Hey everyone, so good to have you all here. I think you're all good for the session. So yes, this is a workshop from Zero G. So myself Gathin, I'm Senior Developer at Zero G, and I'm super glad to be here at Lisbon. Hola to everyone who's here from Lisbon. So before I jump in, so how many of you are here from Lisbon? Just may I know that if you can just raise your hand. Oh, we have half of strength from across, so it's good. So yeah. So yes, I would love to dive deep, and this is my first time in Lisbon, so you guys are really welcoming. So first, I want to be thankful for that. And yes, so with Zero G, so we are the blockchain for AI agents, and this presentation is just about like what Zero G is, how you can get started with building with Zero G, and also like what are the resources that can be helpful, and any other questions that you might have. I will also give you a small time in the end, and we will also be at the booth today, so just let us know if you have any questions. Let's start with the problem. Like, what is the current problem that you're experiencing? So before I dive deep into like what Zero G is and like what is the stacks, just keep in your mind that we are a blockchain for AI agents. You will be able to get verifiable inferencing, and which is like private, and all the models, like the inference that you like query with the models, happen in a trusted execution environment. That is like the input output is verified, so that the data isn't like leaked to like centralized entities. So that is like a quick overview that you can keep in your mind, but I will be more specific when I go into the upcoming slides. So yeah, just give you like what is the problems with like the centralized that you might experience recently is that currently with Fable Fi that might have released, you could see how things were restricted, things were re-enabled. You aren't even sure whether that's up to the par of like the initial Fable release. It might be restricted because of the government's issues, but yeah, that is a big thing, whether it may be throttled or it may be gated, or there is like tomorrow you might not even see Fable Fi again. So that is the issue that you find with like centralized models right now. But the next one is like, for example, $200 per month that you pay for your subscriptions. You don't even know whether they might increase it tomorrow. For example, I'm from India, and they just gave like an India-specific pricing by Claude just gave it, the Anthropic. So yeah, you aren't sure about the pricing. You are like stipulated to what that one centralized entity provides. The other one is like censorships. So when you ask, like for example, you're doing your research on cybersecurity, so you might ask questions related to which is like, it might look sensitive topics, but actually you aren't trying to like bomb something or you're gonna like make a huge web attack. But your request gets refused because the models has like different parameters of censorshipness. So these are like some problems that you might face on your day-to-day basis, and that is not only yourself, but everyone who are using centralized AI face this same problem. So just to quickly dive deep into like the individual problems, the first one is opacity and lack of trust. So for example, you're using like Opus 4.8 in specific, or any other model XYZ that you're using. You aren't sure whether you're actually getting the models from the actual model. You just know you're interacting with like a chat prompt, and the model is generated so-called Opus 4.8. You aren't sure whether they're like reducing or like throttling, or you don't know what is happening behind it. So that is a big issue, and that's what we call as black box. And what Zero G does is we enable like verifiable. Just have a quick idea of what this is. I'll just give you an in dive like as we move forward. So the inference that you get from Zero G is provable, and there are like references to the data. The data that you provide for like the output processing happens only in that input-output channel, and that execution happens in a trusted environment. So the data isn't used for like the training of models, or no one outside of your interaction can look into what data is being used as well. So it's typically like you can say your data input-output is tamper-proof. So next one is vendor lock-in. So all you can do is depends on like closed APIs, random pricings, and the policies keep shifting. So no one reads the policies. You just give like you accept terms and conditions, but it's just you use the single API. But here with Zero G, what you will be able to do is you can switch the different providers. Zero G is more like a marketplace. So similar models, you can use like multiple different providers, and which are like it based on the location. For example, like Asia side, you could find the pricing much more cheaper, and so you could use that for low latency if you're around that region. And there are like multiple different providers that you can use for the same model. Next one is no ownership. So you don't, for example, you just create an agent. You don't own the agent. All you do is you just have the name, the description, like the instruction set for the agent. That's what you own. You don't own like an actual agent. But for example, with 0G, you have something called as Agentic IDs. That means that you will have ownership of your agent. It's like an NFT. You transfer that NFT. It's like you're transferring the ownership of that agent to another person. So that is one of the things that you could take into account when you say that you don't have actual ownership of that agent. Next is centralized control and censorship. This is like a summary of what I completely briefed so far. So it's like a few companies can decide who can build, deploy, or access AI. Like a policy change can kill the whole thing. But with 0G, it's like permissionless, and there is like no gatekeeper. So that's why I named this whole presentation like the permissionless blockchain for AI agents. And applications break when like the pricing increases, you just need to have to switch providers, and switching providers means you need to compromise the quality of what you offered your users. For example, you might use like a really good model which was cheap in the start, and you just need to switch the model because they just increase the pricing and it's not giving a good ROI for you. But it'll affect the users for your app, right? So that is a big thing here when they just dynamically increase or change the pricings. So yeah, 0G's modular app, you can swap to any layer without rebuilding your whole application. So yeah, you could find this more in the upcoming slides. And yes, this one, yeah, it's similar to the one, like the platform charges a big thing, but the actual benefit to the builders is much less. So it's regarding the incentives. And with 0G, and also I forgot to mention that we are a modular stack. So inferencing is a separate layer, it's like a marketplace. And then we have the chain, there's like multiple compute providers. It's like there are multiple compute people who provide compute, there are multiple users who use the inferencing. So it's like you can get incentivized, like for example, if you're a compute provider, you get incentivized. For example, in the future, we are like focusing on fine tuning. So if you're helping with the fine tuning, you can also get incentivized over there. So there are multiple layers in which a user can be incentivized if it's decentralized. So yeah, the shift that is happening right now that you might all have experienced is that open source models are really getting on par or like even sometimes better in SOTA level compared to like the centralized model. For example, Kimi K3, which was like recently launched, is pretty good. For example, I use on my day-to-day basis, I wipe code a lot. So for example, Kimi K3 is like having a good comparatively outputs compared to like the Fable Fi. And for example, as like GLM 5.2, DeepSeek, everyone have like a SOTA level open source models that are coming out right now. And you also get like, with 0G, you will be able to get like a private routing. For example, it's used like TLS routing. So the input output, as I mentioned, there's like the provider, you are the user. And when you interact with the model, it happens in that trusted hardware. So you will also get an attestation back, so such that you know that the output that you receive is actually happen in the TE environment. So yeah, I repeated TE a lot of times, so that is like the core part of the whole architecture. That's what I want to stress here. Yes, so before I dive deep into the architecture, is it clear now like what is the problems that you're facing? Are we good to proceed, guys? Yep, awesome. So this is the architecture, as I mentioned, that we are modular, so you can use individual stacks in your application, or you can use the complete stack as a whole in your app. So we start with the chain, we are like infinitely scalable. That means that depending on the usage, and we currently have like, we process 11,000 transactions per second, and the block finality is less than 1 second. And yeah, we have like the storage. So this is like one big part I haven't stressed about in our stack, which is like the storage. For example, agents need memory. Models need like weights and data sets. And users, when you build an application, you would require, for example, a good storage place where you can store your data. So that is where, like, for example, you want to store the assets, data sets, models, and vectors. We have our decentralized storage. And we have the DA, we have the compute, which I mentioned, we have the fine tuning, RAGs, it's going to launch soon on top of us. Then we have the marketplace on top of it. So where the providers register their compute, users can use the inferencing from the providers. And on top, we have something called as alignment. So this alignment node sale, we did it in end of 2024 in December. And that's these are like nodes which we sold around like 92,000 nodes. So our community can have like the ownership to see that the models are actually working without any external factors. So they have like a governance in that. So that is what we gave the ownership to the users. So yes, this is like, you could just understand the trust is vulnerability, the market is growing, the trust is the biggest issue here. And yes, this is the same thing as I mentioned. We have the chain, compute, storage, and agentic ID is what I mentioned, that it's an NFT tied to your model or your agent, and you will be able to like transfer it or have the ownership, sole ownership to it. Zero-G compute, the one good model that I can stress here is we have GLM 5.2, which is like a 744 billion parameter. And also like it's TE proof, there's like ZKML for like the cryptographic proof, which is stored and settled on zero-G chain. On the zero-G storage, the main thing that I mentioned the rest earlier, but the main thing that I can say is the cost savings. It's almost like 80 to 90% cheaper than AWS S3 buckets. So which is crazy cheap in your opinion, and I would really suggest you guys to try it out here in this hackathon, and you could see how seamless it is and also like how cheaper it is when in comparison to using like AWS or any other centralized storage providers. Next, on the zero-G chain, we have a really good throughput for the DA. We have a chain TPS of 11,000 transactions per second. We are actually sunsetting the DA, but you will be able to still access it, but just to flag it here that we are sunsetting the DA. And chain is 11K TPS, and the block finality is sub-zero, like you could just get it less than 1 second. So yes, agents need ownership. This is the ERC standard, it's called 7857, which is the agentic ID that I mentioned. So yeah, what are the products that you can use on top of zero-G? So we had the stack so far, and you should have like hard code everything. But to make things easier, we have built the project. This is called, it's called pc.zero-g.a. It's called as a private computer. So here you can get like OpenAI compatible API keys, and which has like a router function, which has like a router functionality for you to use any different models on zero-G. So I think we have like a little bit less time, so I'll just rush it a little bit. But if you have any questions, as you know, we will be here at the booth. And next one is the zero-G app. It's a lovable kind of app where you will be able to like build your applications. It's called app.zero-g.ai. And here we have Genome, we have like Agent Launchpad. There are like multiple agents that you can spin up. We have a chat feature. So everything, you just need to like deposit tokens, and you will be able to interact with any models that we have. The chat, Genome, and the Agent Launchpad. Next, we have the VNet. We are like well funded. We have $325 million. And we have like really good integrations. We have like 400 plus ecosystem partners, and we have like 350 is like really less. We just get it in 2 hackathons. So we have like 1,000 plus projects building on top of us, and we also provide grants for builders who are building on zero-G. This is the alignment nodes, and let's come to the core part. This is the different tracks. We provide a 15K bounty. The $6,000 goes to like the best AI product that you can build on zero-G. It can be agents, it can be applications, and I've given a few examples on the track sheet that you can find on the site. The next one is infrastructure. So these are like products that use the AI, like AI agents, and this is the infrastructure that people can use in order to like deploy agents. Like for example, it can be SDKs, frameworks, and anything that people can use in order to like build agents. So that is like comes under infrastructure track, and this one is, as you all know, for this time ETHGlobal introduced the continuity track. So you will be able to continue building with your existing projects, and we want to be generous in this, guys. So we just made sure that we offer like $4,500 for people who are continue building on zero-G. It may be from any of the projects you have built before as well. So yes, this is a quick summary on the tracks. And one quick important thing is that please do join the last QR code. This is a Telegram group chat for this hackathon, and you will be able to like get testnet tokens. We have like added our promo code there, so you can get your generous amount of testnet tokens as well. I just want to be generous here to everyone. So please do join the Telegram group. If you have any questions, you want to talk with us, you want to meet other people who are building on top of zero-G, you could do that. So please do join the last QR code. Yes, and thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Before we are on time, do you have any questions? I think we have like time for like 2 to 3 questions. So yeah. Yeah, please. Yes, I think that's the thing I mentioned. We have listed it on our site. Let me just get it. Looks like I need to format it better. So you could just, these are a few ideas that we have listed it here. So you can just have a look, and also the qualification requirements for each different tracks. It's going to slightly change because for one track we made require like a proof of 0G compute usage, and the other track it's going to be an architectural diagram or just a workflow of your infrastructure, so that people who are trying to build or use your SDK, they find it easier. So you can just go through these examples, and this is just like any projects that you are building prior on 0G. Just let me know if you have any questions at the booth. Yeah, thanks. Anyone else? Awesome, wonderful. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Happy hacking, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much.